So do you think that engineers are used to using the analytical mindset?
So I think absolutely engineers are used to using the analytical mindset. But I would have a few, let's say, pointers that I think are relevant in my daily work. First of all, when we come from university and go into a kind of world, we often see that the system that we operate in is a little bigger and more complex than we're used to. Which means the analytical mindset is not only important to solve that small problem, but is actually you should apply it to a much bigger system. And maybe just illustrating it with an example that we just discussed, thinking about the energy transition. If you're only solving for the heating problem, say, I would like you to stop using a gas boiler, and then I think you should buy a heat pump. But that's a very small, narrow kind of solution. But the system is much bigger, which also involves how am I going to supply the power that I need for that? How am I going to help this person to insulate his house? How am I going to set the right prices for it? So the system is more complex. So I think the risk of the analytical mindset, therefore, is you get it too narrow. We have a perfect solution for a question that's too small. So I think the good news is you can use this analytical mindset in a much broader way than sometimes we do. And I think if I go through my first years of my career as a consultant, that's what I learned. You get to ask yourself a lot of the questions. Why is that really happening? And what is happening next? What is happening next?
I would say that most engineers, to my perspective, they have that mindset. They don't really, per se, apply it on every topic. Well, if you're, let's say, a chemical engineer, you're really good in the fundamentals of chemistry, but you might not be able to transfer that kind of knowledge, that pair of glasses that you've been taught to other areas, other technical areas, but also other areas within the, let's say, economic transactions within corporate business.
And is it nature or education?
It's of course both, because you would not go to an engineering, to University of Technology when you don't have that analytical, analytical mind. But of course, at a university you're trained, and you're for many years, 4, 5, some 6, 7 years, you're trained to work to strengthen that analytical mindset, to strengthen that analytical mind. So yes, engineers are much more analytical than students coming from other universities, from other faculties.
I do think that most engineers are very analytical people, but I also found that after studying to become an engineer, it's actually emphasized a bit more, because you get a very logical way of thinking and analyzing and problem solving, educated while you're at a technical university. So yes, I would say that most engineers I know are very analytical, and so far every time I've worked with people who are also engineers or also went to the technical university in Delft, there was some recognition in the way we looked upon problems and started our problem solving. It's kind of a way of thinking that gets implemented in your brain when you go to university. So yes.
Let's talk about the starting jobs first. Many people, when coming from a university, are asked as a starter to solve a very complex problem, to look into the details, to figure something out that has been laying there for a while, but nobody took a look at it. So that requires a very strong analytical mindset. And you see that engineers typically are very keen and strong and figuring out what is the problem in these kind of things. That can be making a business case to do an outsourcing, or analyzing the number where the company should do more investment. So engineers are very strong on that, and they're obviously recognized for that. And you see that young engineers, when they make a very good project like that, are often promoted to their next step.
So what are the downsides of the analytical mindset? What could you fail at using that?
Well, if you're really analytical, you might not fail at being analytical and getting really into a problem and really finding out all the small levers that create result of whatever you're analyzing as a whole, but you might start losing people in your team, because when you go into your analytic mode and you're curious, you go deeper and deeper and you try to understand how everything works, and suddenly you're down there at this really small lever in the system, and then, oh, where's everybody? You lost them, and basically you might be having fun yourself still, but as a team or as a company or together with your clients, you will not be able to connect anymore. And that's something sometimes I fall also in that trap. When I don't have too many meetings, when I'm working on a project, okay, I try to really dive into what are the mechanics of what I'm working on, how does this system really work, and then sometimes you get lost, and then you have to pull yourself back up and say, okay, so what are the things that I've learned, and how can I make it more general or more understandable for people who are not down in the basement at the small levers.
I see, so you cannot leave engineers alone for too long.
Well, yeah, you could say it. Some engineers, yes, they are really needed because they are the only ones who understand the system. For example, in the district heating business in the Netherlands, we don't have that much district heating. Eneco is the biggest company in this sector, so there are not too many people who are really know what is going on there. And those are the engineers. They really understand how the system works technologically. They understand how it works when in the winter there's a high heat demand, in the summer there's less. What does it do to your pumps? Everything really complicated. We need those people. But then our Minister of Economic Affairs, he wants to get rid of the Groningen gas. He wants to grow the district heating business. He doesn't care about some pump in the summer that might not be small enough to pump the water. He cares about different things. And along the lines between the engineer, who's the only one who understands the system, and the Minister of Economic Affairs, who wants to create a sustainable Netherlands, you need to have people who take you out of the system so you can communicate on a level that's understandable by everyone who's in there.
Thank you so much. That was very informative, and thank you for being here.